I think so.
Live from New York, it's Weekend Update. Put your hands together again for our hosts, please, Caroline and Wendell.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Caroline Berry, joined by my co-host Wendell Simonson. Tonight we're talking about composting, because who doesn't love the smell of saving the planet? Let me tell you, we have a cast of characters lined up for you all today. Wendell, do you want to introduce our first guest?
I'd love to, Caroline. Here to tell us about the riveting latest updates of EPR is the Governor of New York, Braden Cross.
All right.
Hey everybody. I'm happy to announce that the 50th state has passed EPR legislation. Thanks to this legislation, we have raised massive amounts of money to increase compost facilities that accept food waste and food packaging, as well as supporting recycling and reuse. The last part that I wanted to say is, because of this, all packaging is now recyclable, compostable, or reusable, and anything that isn't has been banned nationwide. Last thing, don't forget to vote. Vote for me, and I'll throw it back to Wendell.
Actually, it's Caroline.
Wow, thank you so much, Braden. That's riveting stuff. All right, and now please welcome the representative who's turning trash into treasure, Congressional Representative Alana Goldstein from the state of Colorado. Representative Goldstein, what's cracking on the Hill?
Thank you so much for inviting me to speak today. Building on the work already done to pass the Compost Act, I authorized legislation that miraculously just passed both houses, mandating that clear, easily identifiable labels on compostable products show that they are certified compostable. In addition, the legislation stipulates that all food contact single-use packaging sold will be compostable. And to increase the use of compost beyond agriculture, facilities such as schools, libraries, federal buildings, military bases, and more will incorporate compost at their sites to help them build resilience to a changing climate.
Sounds amazing. Now, here for an update on the latest in standards from our California correspondent and microbiologist, Michelle Castro.
Hi, coming from sunny California. I just got off the 405 after driving on the Sepulveda for an hour. You would think they would have fixed the 405 by 19, or wait, no, not 2019. So here I am to report to you that Congress has just authorized legislation that aligns with the newly released standardized universal composting and packaging standards. This new legislation requires that all compostable products are certified and tested to be PFAS-free, and going further than any historical legislation, that they are toxic-free and break down without persistent chemicals. This landmark policy includes language to mandate universal and consistent labeling so consumers know to throw these items into receptacles that are readily available across the states.
Excellent. Oh, and now, with her reaction to this year's Super Bowl ad funded by EPR proceeds, 14-year-old Lila.
My mom, Gwen, she told me that you used to not be able to tell the difference between super toxic, petro-based, forever chemical-laden single-use products and all these obvious and awesome compostable things we have were not everywhere. And food waste used to go landfill. Ugh. At least these gross old people making those disgusting toxic things pay huge taxes on it. So this Super Bowl ad could run all over the whole country. This ad is called Got Compost. Why does everyone think that's so funny? I don't know. At least it stars my favorite artist, Taylor Swift's AI cat kitten singer, Meredith. Oh my God. I can't believe all these old Gen X, millennials, and Gen Zers need this huge ad to teach them how simple and, oh my God, easy it is to contribute to soil health by just putting the right items in the right bins. It's such a duh. Just look around. At least my mom's generation figured out how to clean up this mess they made for me and my BFFs. And we know what to do now.
All right. All right, thank you so much for that update. Always nice to get schooled by a younger generation. Our next guest, dragged out of retirement from living in his van in Venice Beach. Please welcome our Washington, D.C. data correspondent, Stuart McDonald. Stuart, help us make sense of the endless sea of numbers we all pretend to understand.
Thank you, Caroline. Today, President Taylor Swift directing the EPA to provide clarity on materials that represent circularity of single-use plastics. Fortune 50 CPGs expressed relief at this order and the clarity it will provide to its packaging engineers, finally requiring them to design for end of life. In related news, the composting industry announced that over 75% of facilities now accept compostable packaging and food waste. The industry attributes this widespread adoption to moonshot achievement of material innovation over the last decade. Reporting from Washington, I'm Stuart McDonald, and I'd like to go back to not wearing shoes.
And to close us out here, we have a special interview with Gideon Gu, who represents the status quo and antiquated thinkers everywhere. Mr. Gu, how are you doing tonight?
Hi guys.
Would you care to comment on the fact that externalities are now properly captured in the cost of all petrochemical-based products?
Yeah, we achieved like massive cost reduction, so it's happy to announce we are all here for compostable.
And how do you feel about the fact that compostables have achieved mass scale and cost neutrality?
But it's just 1% of our production. Maybe 10 years more later, we can achieve more and more.
Thank you, sir.
That's enough out of you. All right, last up. Our resident surfer and eco-warrior who's been riding waves for 3 decades is John Stingray Salvador. Hey, who's John? Tell us what's going on in the water these days.
Oh, dudes, well, hey, I'm happy to report that everything you dudes have been talking about is truly working. Yeah, dude, my bros, we're totally educated on this whole recycling and composting thing. And Caroline, so righteous of you to give me Windows credit card to go buy a new stick. Yeah, I made out of recycled content, and now I'm off to some cool beaches all over the world. And then even though the beaches are full of kooks, there's no more bogus plastic on the beaches, no more sea turtles with straws, and the water's crystal clear. So I'm happy to report pollution's gone and everything's cool.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great weekend. See you next week.